Good morning, Captains. It's me, Tonic TZW, here with the Tier 7 Tech Tree French cruiser, the Charles Martel. I have been grinding this ship out because it's needed for the Bureau project, and so is the San Louis. This ship is really hard to get right, but it is very easy to get wrong. And geez, I will just say that this is probably one of the most frustrating grinds that I've had. But I did have one camo for this one, which was the space camo, but I got really annoyed with the pew pew of the guns, so I decided to just switch it to a hunter camo, which I'm sure you will agree looks a hell of a lot better. Now, even though I had some trouble getting to grips with this ship, it did have its moments, and I've got a few of them here before we go into a breakdown of the commander and gameplay. This is my worst game that I played in it out of the 60 games that I had to play, and I lasted all of 2.5 minutes. You'll notice there's no destroyers in the game, and nobody wanted to go forward and spot, so I did. And that was probably the biggest mistake that I made in all of the 60 games that I did play, because I thought, I want to get out of here. I don't want to be here. Oh my goodness, I'm the center of attention. What is going to happen now? Well, I think you all know what's going to happen now, because one thing I learned about this ship is it is paper thin, and it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to get smashed to pieces. So that was me going down as the first ship in the game, and I learned very quickly not to do that again. But one of the pros about this ship, not the shop, is its agility. And yeah, trying to salvo a VP through the nose and torpedoes on the corner. We knew he was going to slow down. He does get chunked from a ship at the back, but this guy is coming in bowing, and I was in such a panic that I didn't switch to high explosive, and I thought, I'm broadside to this guy, I need to get turned, I need to get away. He thought he was on for an easy kill, perhaps even a ram, but I don't think he was expecting the speed that this thing can get moving with, and the fact that I have torpedoes on both sides. But it is something that perhaps this guy will learn for future reference. Sadly, the team lost this game. Even by that point, we were one ship down to 3. And this was also a great moment, because our destroyer there is out on the white line. I have no idea what he was doing. I was using the main battery reload booster on this trial, and I wish I'd had sonar available, to be honest, and I am running sonar on it now. But that Z39B is popping me from his smoke. The only thing I can think is he's not got his sonar running, because we get a torpedo, and that's a dev strike. This one is also a highlight because we were down on points. There was a carrier and the Weimar versus myself and another battleship, I think, a Nelson out there on the side. All this Weimar had to do was run and take the points win, but he got greedy. And getting greedy broadside to another cruiser is not a good thing. I'm quite certain there's torpedoes coming over, but with this final salvo, this is a clutch because it gives us a 3-point advantage over red team. I then sailed into the middle of the cap beside the Nelson. Both of us managed to survive, and so by a 3-point margin we were able to win that match. So let's go through, we'll have a look at the build that I settled on with this ship, and you can see it there, and we'll quickly stroll through them. We're using Aiming System Mod 1 because it reduces the dispersion, and then we've got Propulsion Mod 2. We have got the steering gears mod, so we've got speed and agility built in there, and then I settled on fire control systems mod 2. It doesn't give us the best overall. If you look at a lot of the builds on WoW's builds, there's a lot of community builds out there, but I probably spent about 400,000 Commander XP on changing round my inspirations for the Commander. I settled on Andre Roux because I found that his first skill, telling me how many ships were aiming at me, was a very good one to have, and telling me when to turn. You really do need to have your head on a swivel with this one because you can't afford to take a hit. One of the things I found about running Le Monnier to give me extra range was that the dispersion and the low velocity of the shells means that even battleships could outturn you at range, and it was very difficult to land hits. But we are here on Trap. This is the highest scoring game that we had in this one, and it does turn into a good one. And unfortunately, there are a number of disappointing things that happen in this game. The first of which is the Z23, which is off to my left in front of Bravo Cap, is AFK for around the first 4.5 minutes of the game. That cost us play and position in this match. We've got a Veneto, so we've got a brawling Italian battleship with great secondaries, you know, and his rolling smoke screen. And as I said, this thing can't afford to take a hit. And it's more of a support class ship, I feel, from my personal experience. Again, there are people like Hipper and Zakuun that will play this ship in a completely different way. So if you've got a really good build and you're consistent with this ship, if you've got videos online, please do drop me a link in the comments to your channel or to your video. Let me know what your build is, because I would love to look and see what other people are doing with this ship. I did do some research before I started the grind in this ship, and as you can see there, the shells are lofty. They take a long time to get anywhere. But as I said, if you play the ship well, better than I do, then please, link me a video, let me know what your build is, let me see your gameplay, and let me see how you play this ship. Now, speed, agility, it's great, but you also need to be able to get guns on targets, and you need to be in a position to support the team, because it's difficult for a destroyer to survive on its own. There's the Rochester. Unfortunately, both of our destroyers seem to be having a bit of an off day. One is there parked on the corner of the island to the right of Charlie Cap. He is being harassed by the aircraft carrier. He's got a Rochester behind him as well, and it looks like our Veneto is not understanding the definition of brawling, and he's sitting a long way off, but perhaps he's got a different build on it. Perhaps he is running a ranged and accuracy build. But we do get the Richelieu spotted momentarily again. I think he realizes that yeah, I'm just going to keep setting you on fire. And we do have a carrier in this game as well, which would be absolutely awesome to have with the support. You'll see that no one has gone anywhere near Bravo Cap, but looking at the shadows on the map, sorry Veneto, scraped your paint there. Both destroyers have gone for Alpha Cap, and that has let an Otago sail straight into the middle of Bravo Cap. And this was so frustrating because that guy has got limited movement inside that cap. I got myself spotted. First blood goes to the Heinrich. The Rochester is a long way out. We do have people on Charlie Cap now, but I'm kind of begging for information from the carrier, and I just can't ping the map anymore. Now that Otago because of my position now. He has got a flank fire on us across the top there, and so I decide that I'm going to need to turn because the Z23 is yet to wake up, and I'm just trying to keep that cap contested. But here we go, the Richelieu is feeling brave again. He's got himself on the corner of an island, so we're going to pop some shots at him as we get another reset on the Otago. The Z23 has finally come to life. I know that I'm broadside to the Richelieu. There we go. I can see that I'm being targeted, but we want to try and kite away from him because we've still got a little bit of range to play with. We can see his ship wiggling around, which means that he's playing with his throttle. We get another fire on him. That Z23's contribution to Bravo Cap is to fire his torpedoes through it and then sail across here to Charlie. Looking at the minimap, that ACAP has completely collapsed. We've lost a destroyer and 2 cruisers across there. We can't see the Otago. The carrier seems to be focused on going for damage alone, and I decide, for the life of me, and to have any hope of potentially doing anything to save this game, that I need to push back along the south side of B and across to A, because otherwise we are going to get slammed from both sides. I can't get shots onto the Helena. They now have 2 ships at least inside of Bravo Cap. The carrier is none the wiser. Everybody seems focused on the Richelieu. The Rochester has taken himself out of the game, and it's at this moment that I realise we are literally 5 minutes into the game, and I'm already feeling that this game is a lost cause because we've lost 1 destroyer. The other destroyer just didn't do anything for B-Cap and was late to the game. 4.5 minutes, the first 4.5 minutes of gameplay, to lose out on that for a destroyer is absolutely ridiculous. But here we go. We've got a Heinrich. We know the Hipper is out there too. There's still a carrier and there is still 2 destroyers. So I'm going to try and do what this ship does best. I'm going to try and kite. I'm going to try and burn this guy down. I know that he has limited damage controls, but even at this, at 13 kilometers, the velocity of the shells is so slow. And another problem that I found is the turret traverse, the base turret traverse for this is 25 seconds for 180 degrees. So if you're going to start a kite away from a ship, you've really only got the 1 turret that you can use, and you do have to give up a bit of skirt to be able to get at least 2 turrets onto a target. I'm not running concealment on this, so it's very risky business. You can see there that with the Heinrich sailing towards us, we have got quite good torpedo angles. It's a spread of 3. They're not the fastest, but we are going to keep an eye on this Heinrich. We're going to try and get a second fire on him. You can see there we can turn out, and that's what you have to do here. We can see that he is the only ship targeting us. And one of the things that I found really helpful with this, running the engine mod, is that if you're getting shot at, you can stop and start very, very quickly. So if they fire at you, they're generally firing at where you're going to be, deflection shooting as it's called. And so if you slam the brakes on full reverse, you can normally make those shots go past you. And I've made a completely awful mistake here, and I've run into the line, and that means I've got to turn. I've got to go full broadside to get turned round on this Heinrich, but he is now in range of us. I can see that the carrier is out there too, and my engine is slow because I'm against the line. But we're going to try and stay on this Heinrich because it is a losing battle. All the guys that were on this side, they're now literally running anti-clockwise around the map. here comes carrier planes. This isn't going to be good. Going in against a Heinrich. Now his secondaries haven't started firing yet, and I'm at 9 kilometers. So that tells me that he either isn't running a secondary build, or he hasn't got the secondary commanders leveled up. But we do take a hit there. We pop a heal. We get another fire on the Heinrich, and I'm thinking, okay, we are going to have a kill here. But do you know what? We aren't, I don't think. No, look, it's the carrier's fire that gets the kill as we get slammed again by a full health Colorado. Now the carrier is coming this way. There are still 2 destroyers in the game. Both of our destroyers are gone, and I did message the Z23 after, and I said, look, being out of the game for the first 5 minutes is not on. I said it's cost us a lot of time, a lot of play, and a lot of position, and this is something that you really can't do in this ship, and it's going up against a battleship. I am running towards danger now, and it seems hopeless, but if you watch, the carrier's attention is on me now. There is a ship from Red Team on Charlie Cap, and I have no idea what those 2 battleships and the carrier are doing, but the carrier's focus has been pretty much entirely on Charlie Cap for this entire game. You can't do that if you're a CV. Watch some of the live streams that I've been in with Chin. He plays carriers amazingly, and you have to be able to cover the whole map. Now we did load AP thinking that guy was going to be broadside for a little bit longer. The carrier is absolutely thrashing me. I know that I really can't afford to turn broadside to that Colorado, but I'm thinking if I can get some fires on these guys and get them ticking, then at least we can give the team a chance. Our Heinrich takes out one of Red Team's destroyers as we pick up a high caliber on just under 120,000 damage. We want a fire on the CV, and now I'm going to have to turn because I am the center of attention here. That's a broadside from the Colorado. That is really nasty. My hit points are getting lower and lower. The only thing I've got is speed to hopefully be able to outturn that Colorado's turrets, but we're burning with 45 seconds left on the heel. We're getting round again for another shot on the Shikaku. We've got torpedoes running on the Colorado. We land 2 with 2 floods. We get air fire on the Shikaku as well, and I'm thinking, come on, we can do it. No, we can't. That is this out of the game. But you can see there that the damage control is still ticking. Our carrier is still in the same place, and so we're going to pause here and skip towards the end of the game as we pick up a Witherer, and the damage is still ticking. So with 30 seconds to play, you can see that that damage did tick up to 181,000 damage pretty much. We didn't get a cap, and I didn't get a kill, and both the carrier and the Colorado survived my efforts to take them out of the game. Our carrier did eventually kill the destroyer with his bombs, but it was way too little, way too late. So there we go, 181,000 damage, high caliber, and a Witherer. I think we fought very, very hard on that one. 1807 base XP without a bonus, which puts us up there when you compare it to the base XP scores that they had on Red Team. I think it would have been about 3rd for their team there. But as I said, I didn't have the greatest of joy grinding this ship. 40% win rate, and on average 67,000 damage, which is almost double the hit points that I had on the ship at 38,000. So I was trying to do my job. I did have a couple of other decent games of it, victories and defeats, and I will link those after this. And make sure you smash that like button, and as I said, leave me something in the comments about how well you play this ship and any links to your own videos. We've got a few more grinds to do, so I'll get on with those and we'll get you some more videos out. Until those are ready, take care of yourselves and goodbye.